Welcome back. Let me take you through some live visuals coming in of a meet that's all set to happen between Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and Donald Trump, all in Washington. These are live images as I bring for you. President Zelensky is all set to land in Washington for what could be really a turning point in the Ukraine war. In fact, in moments from now, the two of them are going to be meeting, and we know that some top European leaders are also going to be joining in this meeting. In fact, Europe, by and large, has supported Zelensky and stays stern on Zelensky's stand on many aspects of this very meet. The agenda, of course, has already raised a lot of questions here because Trump first had his meeting with Putin, where a lot was discussed on how to stop this war. And now after the meeting with Putin, Trump is having this meeting with Zelensky. But it appears that Trump has some caveats. There's talk that Trump is going to push Zelensky to accept some conditions as per what Russia has presented, that give up Crimea, abandon NATO hopes and surrender eastern regions like Donetsk and Luhansk. Now, this is exactly Putin's demands right from day one of this war. And it seems like Donald Trump is going to be basically a mediator, presenting the same demands of what Trump has made to Zelensky. Now, it all comes down to whether or not Zelensky is going to accept this. Remember last week, Trump met Vladimir Putin. They spoke of land swaps and security guarantees. But Zelensky warns that such promises failed Ukraine before, and he's not willing to accept these demands. So it seems like the talk already has not begun. At least the fact that the meeting is yet to happen, there doesn't seem much hope in this very meeting, just at the face of it, considering that Putin has not agreed on one hand. So it's quite natural that this talk with Zelensky also might just fall flat. But nonetheless, the world, of course, is hoping for peace. If Trump can pull this off, then why not? Trump is clear that no more talk of ceasefire. He wants a deal. Basically, he's willing to do anything to cut a deal with Zelensky. Ceasefire should be the second aspect, more or less saying that this is more of a business deal and less of ceasefire talks. Now, Donald Trump has softened his stance on fresh sanctions on Moscow as well. Russia already controls 1/5 of Ukraine, including Crimea, all of Luhansk and parts of Zaporizhia and Kherson. So at a time like this, it seems like Donald Trump is softening up to Russia, listening to what Putin has to say, doing deals with Russia, while, let me warn you, imposing tariffs on India for buying oil from Russia. But that's a separate issue. But here you have Trump there, in a way, softening its stance towards Russia. And now he's going to be meeting with Zelensky, presenting exactly what Putin has said to Zelensky to see if he's going to accept demands. So very interesting here to see how this is going to pan out. Of course, Trump is amplifying his message online, saying that Zelensky can end the war almost immediately if he wants to. So more or less to say that Putin is not backing off, it's Zelensky who will have to give in. The question is it possible? Will Zelensky budge? Will Europe, of course, accept Ukraine moving away from NATO? Of course, Ukraine itself is not willing to, but Europe, by and large, we hear, has fully thrown its weight in favor of Ukraine staying with NATO and in every sense has supported Ukraine in its right to this war. Joining me, Ambassador Yogesh Gupta, former Indian diplomat. Thank you very much. Ambassador Suresh Goyal, I beg your pardon, sir. Thank you very much, Ambassador Suresh, for joining me right here to give us a little insight into this meeting between Zelensky and Trump. A quick question, can Trump's push for land swaps really deliver lasting peace? And will Zelensky really be willing to accept what Putin has placed as his demands? Basically, from what I see here is that Trump is just acting as a mediator. Putin wants this, are you going to accept it or not? That doesn't give him a Nobel Prize, but at least, well, he's initiating a talk.
Okay, let me put it this way. I don't think Trump is acting as a mediator. Trump has got his own interest in his mind, and he's going to try his damnedest to really push what his interests are, both with the Europeans. He has tried that with Putin so far, and he has come back from the meeting in Alaska with what he thinks Putin is able to give to him, and he has got to sell that to Zelensky. Now, selling it to Zelensky, if Zelensky were coming alone, I think there was a chance that Zelensky would accept what Putin had to offer. But he's not coming alone. He's coming with the whole European leadership who are going to again keep the pressure on Zelensky to see that he does not capitulate so easily. So it's a tough call. And I'm quite sure that Europe is going to try very, very hard to make sure that Putin does not get what he wants entirely all the way, and that Ukraine, because for Europe, the main issue really is security, and I don't think they really want Ukraine to come away without what they see as the idea of security, and in that, some kind of a relationship with the European Union and NATO is a must. Swap of territories, I think Europe also accepts. Ukraine has come to accept that certain amount of minimal territorial exchanges will need to be done. I think they will go along with that. But security paradigm, that's the issue here. And let us see what happens. So from that point of view, this meeting is very, very critical.
How does Trump's shift, Ambassador Suresh, from ceasefire to full-blown deal-making meeting here really speak of? What does it speak of? Trump from the start is trying to cut deals with every country and say that, well, part of my deal is also to bring ceasefire, but if ceasefire doesn't happen anyway, I'm anyway going to cut a deal. This is a kind of diplomacy we've never seen before, but it seems to be working for Trump, at least media optics-wise. I'm not too sure how far US as an economy is benefiting from this.
You said it is working for Trump. I don't know. Trump.
I hear he's got almost 1 million followers after he became US president for the second time. Additional 1 million on his social platforms. That itself clearly suggests that the man is a total win-win.
No, win-win from the point of view is getting money into his bank accounts, yes. But is that what the US president is all about? The US president is president of one country, which is the only superpower in the world, and they really exercise huge power. But Trump seems to believe that the only power that he needs to exercise is where his own deals are cut. Anyway, getting away from that, I don't know whether Trump is going to get all the way, but this is not the last meeting. This is only the second of the meeting in the whole series. Trump is going to push very, very hard. Trump got persuaded by Putin, and now Trump knows that this is probably the maximum that he can get from Putin, with some minor adjustments.
No, but you know what's shocking to me, Ambassador Suresh, what's shocking to me is here that if Trump is going to convey to Zelensky that, hey, you know, you need to exit NATO, because that's what Putin wants, then that's going to be absolutely shocking. Do you think Trump will advocate for that?
Look, NATO membership is a demand raised by Zelensky, which set the whole thing in motion. The war started 3 years ago because Ukraine was keen to become member of of NATO. And when Zelensky raised the demand, Europeans didn't say a yes or no, but they seemed to encourage him that we would go along to support him. USA did not. So Zelensky was actually led up the garden path all the time that he would be able to get the NATO membership and he could not. Therefore, I don't think that is going to happen really. I think, there may be some other security arrangement.
Yes, yes.
Lost Ambassador's connection. Well, we're going to try and patch Ambassador Suresh's connection there. But from what we hear and understand here, that Donald Trump, of course, trying to mediate between Putin and Zelensky, doesn't seem like there's much going to come out of this. That's the typical observation. That's according to experts, considering that there's not much that Donald Trump really has to convey to Zelensky, except for the same thing that Putin has reiterated right from the start, that you exit NATO, give up Crimea, and allow us to take over some parts of Ukraine, including regions like Donetsk and Luhansk. Now, Ukraine right from the start has said that's not possible. So, does Trump have something different to offer? Time will tell. Of course, we at News 9 are going to be very closely tracking the story. You should be very well watching this 10 p.m. onwards. We are going to be on live coverage on Trump and Zelensky meet.